I'm sure the way she was treated is, like, pretty horrific, right?
Key Twitch representatives last night were out partying. Okay.
Literally straight past her security guard.
They said, oh, well, he's banned from the platform for 30 days.
Why not just do a permaban? Why not just do a permaban? What? You can go to TwitchCon, try and kiss somebody, try and schmooze them up, and then what? You've got nothing? No ban, no punishment, no nothing?
That's a lie. That's literally a lie.
Yeah, I can understand why she's shook up. Okay, so, obviously, a lot of people have probably heard, leading up to it, Emiru had a situation with, I believe, a fan at a meet and greet at TwitchCon just a day ago, 2 days ago, something like that. Anyway, the lead up to this has been a lot of streamers, especially female streamers, have said that they either aren't going to go to TwitchCon or have a lot of concerns about going to TwitchCon. Now, part of this is the Charlie Kirk thing. Not a female streamer, but close enough. Has even said himself that he's not going to go, just so he doesn't like draw any extra attention to the con for other people that might get caught in the crossfire or it might stir up tensions. Anyway, he's not gone. But then there has been controversies, especially over the last couple years from the previous TwitchCons, that people essentially aren't allowed to bring their own private security, or Twitch has preference over who they do and don't select. And so what people would usually rely on to be their security have not been allowed in, right? That's been the drama leading up to it. Now, some of the concerns that are phrased, I will admit, okay, they've been a little bit generalized. Some people have said about previous years, people have been spiking drinks. I mean, if huge clubs can't stop that, I don't know if there's much way for TwitchCon to stop that. There've been concerns about like political violence. That's why Hasan hasn't gone. Now, this is nothing like that. This is something that could have happened at any TwitchCon, and would have been very, very hard to prevent. But we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna give my full thoughts as we go on. Okay, so the situation. Zavaganda. Actually, that is a good point. That is a very, very good point. Okay, Possum brings up in Kick Chat. So they did have a problem previous years where I believe this was from a creator event. They basically served alcohol, kind of I think it was an open bar where they giving like free drinks giving free drinks away at a creator party, and just had the entire table just there. They just kind of put a bunch of bottles or a bunch of cups out, and just we'll just kind of leave them there. It should be fine, right? Little tablets of GHB. It's sprinkling them in. Okay, no, not funny.
Okay, bro.
Yeah. So there has been concerns. There are always concerns with events like this. And undoubtedly, the way that they've kind of approached things, something has got to change. Absolutely. But anyway, without any further ado, we are going to get into the clip. W Hangus as well for the inbox. Okay, so you're not going to be able to see a huge lot. This is a YouTube terms of service compliance stream. Absolutely, all the way. YouTube terms of service compliant. Here's the clip. Whoa. So, what just happened there? Okay, I'll lead you through it. Guy comes up. Here he is. Here is the monster, okay? Guy in the kind of like flannel, kind of like black and white jacket, yeah? Now, this has been the thing that I've wondered as well, okay? This is not how people ordinarily talk. This is not how anybody ordinarily talks. Pixelate it only a little. People are getting strikes for this, Babka. I'm not going to risk it, okay? But I've watched this footage of me. I mean, I've watched this footage of Emiru over and over and over again to try and see like what's going on. Who actually makes that childlike noise? And I can't think of anyone else that it'd be other than Emiru. yeah, so it seems like, don't exactly know what's going on there. This feels like a little bit of a Shelbo situation. But, without playing the footage, I think I might be able to show you this, okay? A little bit of the lead up. Alright. So if you take a look here, just how quickly this happens, right? He just... He's there within 2 seconds. Blink and you'll miss it. Right? She immediately kind of like steps back, but it doesn't seem as though anyone is there to stop him, right? Take a look here. Here is Emiru's security. So she does have security there. Not her first choice, but in any case, she has security there. And he just lets him, like, scoot past. He walks right past him before he does anything. He's not slowing down. I can't show you the rest because of YouTube TOS, but anyway, yeah. So, a lot of people are blaming Twitch for this, as though people need to be, like, vetted better before they're allowed into TwitchCon. I don't know how that would solve things, unless it comes out that this guy had some kind of criminal record. There was some indication that this guy would offend, quote unquote, again, right? I'm not really sure what exactly people are suggesting. There are things that would make people feel more comfortable, right, in letting people have whatever security they would like, rather than just people who are accepted by Twitch, or at least maybe making the guidelines of how different security are accepted in, or like denied, making that a little bit more visible to try and make people a little bit more comfortable. Or feeling like it's kind of a well-regulated situation. Everyone knows what's going on, right? But apart from that, I'm not quite sure exactly what Twitch could have done to solve this, right? They were vetting people, but not +1s. No, I'm talking about the guests. They had weird stuff like vetting people in the queue, but letting anyone who gets vetted bring a +1. Really? Okay. Right. That would be an issue then. That would be an issue. In case you guys didn't know, okay? Don't roam around like in goblin clans, you know? I mean, not all men, but, you know, any of the men kind of deal, right? Not all men, but any man. Yeah, that's the kind of deal we're going with. Alright. But, yeah, this has obviously led to Emiru speaking about it, afterwards. But what I want to go to first, actually, is what Emiru had to say, like, before the fact. Because obviously this happens and everyone's waiting to see what she says afterwards. Apparently, she was at least apprehensive about doing this in the first place. She didn't really want to, but she had to in order to do other shows.
Cancel my meet and greet because of, so I had to cancel my meet and greet because of the stuff, but in order to, I can't cancel my meet and greet and not cancel her show because of the fact that the reason I cancel my meet and greet is I don't want to be in the same place for 2 hours because of people being weird.
Okay.
And then I'm under contract with them, so I can't cancel one and not cancel the other.
Interesting. Oh.
So I'm sorry,
I kept my
Emmy.
meet and greet because I wanted to keep my show. Surely it'll be fine.
I'm sorry, Emmy.
I'm sure everyone will be nice.
So I had to cancel.
Is that Shelbo's wife? Yeah, so here you've got Cinna, Shelbo's wife. There you've got Extra Emily, possibly one of Shelbo's girlfriends, and then Emiru. I think she's more of a confidant, right? She's more of a consort. She's one of Shelbo's many concubines. Yeah, so Shelbo's got his hand very, very deeply, okay? Very deeply within all of this business here. But in any case, yeah. It is kind of weird. Now, I don't know why that agreement would be there. It kind of sucks that you can't do a show unless you do a meet and greet. Those kind of, like, tied at the joint. Is there some kind of incentive where, like, streamers are, like, too lazy in order to do meet and greets? And everyone wants a show, but not everyone wants a meet and greet, right? The meet and greets are going to be, like, the big pull for everyone to, like, come and meet their favorite streamers. I don't know, if Twitch can't, like, regulate them effectively, there's got to be some kind of, like, buyout, right? Otherwise, who the is going to want to go to a TwitchCon? Who's going to want to be there? Who's going to want to do a meet and greet if they can't be sure that they're going to be, like, you know, safe during the time, right? Why the f would you want to do a meet and greet? I mean, that's the whole point, yeah. That's what I'm saying. I don't know if streamers would actually want to go there to do meet and greets, unless they're like new streamers who are just hoping that somebody will meet up with them and greet them, essentially. Yeah. Yeah. Imagine the that turn up. Dude, imagine the BO. Imagine the BO that turns up. That is gotta be absolutely horrific. Yeah, I can understand even male streamers. I mean, men tend to have a little bit less of like a disgust response. We live like pigs anyway. How can we really complain? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if, even as a guy, whether you want to like meet a bunch of like random Twitch weirdos. I don't know. YouTube, on the other hand, YouTube and Kick, way better users, way better viewers. All right, completely different dynamics. Anyway, so apparently that's been a dynamic that's been at play in this as well. Not only has there been concerns about people's safety during meet and greets, you're also not allowed to host a show if you're not also doing a meet and greet as well. Dan Clancy has already responded to this. So he had an interview with Taylor Lorenz. Now, very annoyingly, Taylor Lorenz has shown about 2 minutes of this and no more. Don't worry though, the full version is going to be out on Wednesday. Right. Anyway, let's have a gander. So for me, this dropped like 1 AM on the 19th. Probably for you guys, this dropped yesterday. But in any case, yeah, we're going to have to wait for several more days in order to see the full version. Great stuff.
And others. Obviously, we saw one Twitch streamer yesterday, Emiru, get by a male fan, and a lot of streamers have, especially female streamers, have talked about, you know, the danger that they feel from these sort of toxic, I guess, parasocial kind of creeps. What are you guys doing to prioritize safety? Because I know also
she's serving. Dude, she's suffocating. What is going on? Has she got pneumonia? Tuberculosis? What's the point? What is the point? Dude, people say that Twitch is catering too much to an Asian audience, and I'm starting to believe it. I see what they're saying.
So a bunch of Twitch content creators said that they were too scared to even come to TwitchCon this year, just in case something like what happened yesterday would happen.
The safety of our creators is the top priority. The challenge we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society. I do think that when you're live streaming, in many ways, since you control your community and you can ban people, you can make it so that those people that you don't want engaging with you and participating with you aren't there. Okay, it's very different. You know, when I use other short form content and people say all sorts of stuff, well, I can't stop that. But when I live stream, they basically don't bother me. Now, what happened yesterday obviously was something that we care deeply about, securing this environment. You know, we're looking very closely at everything that happened there, and I care deeply about Emmy. She's a friend of mine, and so I want to see how we can support her. This is just something we have to keep working on. I think everyone identifies our tools in terms of trust and safety as the leaders in the industry about helping creators, but that means there's always more work to be done because that's the world we live in now.
Demi had posted earlier.
Dude, the thing I would have as well is I don't know, because TwitchCon isn't, I would suspect, a money-making venture. For Twitch, they don't make a profit on this. This is a way to like publicize their platform for creators to be able to like hook up. Maybe, well, I mean, two collabs. Whoops, maybe a slip of the tongue, possibly a slip of the tongue. But it's a way for them to like, you know, meet up and like plan collaborations. And so in the long term, it might aid in the profitability of their business. I kind of get it there. But when you look to something like VidCon, for example, that is an event run yearly by creators for creators. I think it was Hank Green that got it set up initially, right? Now, they have, obviously, an interest, not just in their brand, but in the event itself. They want it to be safe, they want everyone to be happy, they want to make a profit as well, right? They have a direct interest in that particular event. Whereas Twitch doesn't actually have an interest in the event in and of itself, right? They're putting it on so they can form like a Twitch community. Now, I don't know if the directness of the profit incentive is going to just make it way safer for VidCon, if they're going to invest way more in safety, because the VidCon is what they make their money on, right? It is literally their bread and butter, their meat and potatoes, what pays the bills. Whereas for TwitchCon, it's like a secondary thing. And so I don't know if there's the same kind of like incentive there. But it just seemed odd as well. I've seen a lot of people mention this, that this is a really weird response. Now, some people have said that in Dan Clancy's response here, he brings up, well, you know, if you're running a live stream, you've got full control who you ban. You've got full control who is in your community at that time in a way that you don't if you're just like posting videos on YouTube or doing like video content. Which is true. That's a really odd way to frame this, though. Like, one of your top talent, your main creators, or above all else, right, a person, a human being, a woman, whatever, has just been one of the meet and greets. And your first response is, well, the self-moderation tools on platform are, like, incredibly efficient. That's kind of not what nobody's talking about.
Today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon. Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even like journalists have had struggled. Like, you know, it is very secure, but here's this man that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or, you know, issues like this have happened?
Well, I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, you know, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any, you know, specifics or details, but part of that.
That's not true. If you're having a meet and greet as like a contractual obligation in order for somebody to be able to do a show, right? At TwitchCon, that's just not true. That's not true at all. If they have to do a meet and greet in order to access other benefits that are like support their, you know, career and stuff like that, that's not letting them do whatever they want to do. In the most general libertarian, like, you know, like capitalist sense, technically they can agree not to do any of that, but it's not nearly as accessible or choosy as he's making it out to be.
That is working with creators and, you know, trying to find them. Right now we're definitely, you know, ramping it up to make sure creators know that we have the resources there to help them figure out what's right for them.
Is this a what was she wearing slash yeah, I don't know if it is that kind of answer. Obviously, if you're going to be asking the CEO, how exactly, you know, does your platform like inhibit or support this kind of behavior, they are going to give a response that is like, well, we allow creators, whether they want to do a meet and greet or not. They have like excellent on platform moderation tools. It's a weird thing to bring up. I understand. I feel like he's just in like brand safety or brand integrity mode right now, answering the question. But it is quite a strange response, especially in terms of PR. Obviously, we're just getting like a 2-minute clip here. Apparently, the entire interview is going to be out in a few days' time, so we'll be able to see then. But as a snippet in and of itself, it's very PR coded, but too PR coded, right? If anything, he's doing bad PR right now. This is not the way you want to be answering it, but yeah. Anyway, let's take a look at the Dexerto article, because I think there might be a little bit more here, just a little bit more here to be able to talk about. Are they going to get more details about the interview that aren't yet publicly released? Maybe. I thought he was saying the setup of each creator's meet and greet is sort of a discussion between the creator and their team, since the people provide their own security. Hold on.
But that means there's always more work to be done, because that's the world we live in now.
Demi had posted earlier today that I guess this fan was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon. Why should streamers trust Twitch to keep them safe at TwitchCon? Because I feel like simultaneously this has been such a secure event to the point that even like journalists have had struggled. Like, you know, it is very secure, but here's this man that just walks up and is somehow able to bypass all these things. So why should they trust the platform when slip-ups or, you know, issues like this have happened?
Well, I mean, as you know, I think you toured some of what we do in terms of security. The reality is, even as you do a lot in terms of security in today's world, there are challenges that can present themselves, especially when someone is putting themselves out there, right? And so, you know, we try to work very closely with each creator about what they want to do and what works for them, right? So I don't want to get into any, you know, specifics or details, but part of
I don't know if that's what he means there, but there has been efforts to curb exactly who streamers are bringing as their security, right? So even if he were saying that, that wouldn't be completely true. There are certainly nuances to it, but yeah, I get what you're pointing out. But like I say, we'll have to wait till the full interview. However, let's have a gander here. So, I guess a little bit of background they're given. Yeah, they did ban Emiru's last top security guy because he grabbed some chatter's hand, or he grabbed some chatter's like arm when he came up to come and like meet up with her. Yeah. So anyway, Twitch CEO Dan Clancy spoke publicly about the of streamer Emiru at TwitchCon 2025, reaffirming that creator safety remains the company's top priority. Speaking to journalist Taylor Lorenz, Clancy acknowledged the seriousness of the situation and said Twitch was taking a close look at what happened during the convention. On October 17th, a male attendee approached Emiru while she was on stage at TwitchCon and grabbed her without her consent. Security pushed the man away, with Emiru subsequently being escorted off stage. So Clancy said Twitch was reviewing everything that happened. We've already read that quote. Okay. This is from outside the interview, I believe. Okay. The safety of our creators is our top priority. Clancy continued during the interview, adding, "The challenges we face is a challenge in today's society. It's not limited to Twitch. It extends throughout our society." Clancy said, "I do think when you're live streaming in many ways that you control your community and you can ban people." Yep. Addressing the directly, what happened yesterday was something we care deeply about, securing this environment. We're looking very closely at everything that happened. I do care about Emiru. She's a friend of mine, so I want to see how we can support her. He said that Twitch's trust and safety team were considered among the strongest in the industry, but said there is always more work to be done. I literally just read a Dexerto article that quoted from the interview that I just watched, innit? Damn. Modern journalism W? Modern journalism W? Taylor Lorenz puts out a 2-minute clip. You essentially just describe what happens in the 2-minute clip in your article. Leave it for the slop tubers, okay? That's my job. That's my job. Now, what is this? Okay, somebody's trying to jump in on my spot, dude. I'm trying to corner the market here. Yeah, sure, actually, does that make me a journalist? I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Yes, it's Dexerto. What do you expect? From the magazine, the journalistic outlet that is like pumping out a bunch of like behind the scenes information with people who have ties directly into the Twitch trust and safety, with people with industry links. A little bit more, okay? What am I expecting? To summarize it in a phrase, a little bit more, okay? Marker now. All right. Anyway, I've been teasing it a little bit because Emiru released a very, very long response, which, you know, interested to go through. I think I have seen from a couple of other things where she lays the blame. I think it looks at least like she's playing it kind of pretty squarely at Twitch's feet right now. But yeah, they got rid of Richard Lewis years ago. They don't care anymore. Yeah, possibly for this. I don't want to go into Richard Lewis drama. Please do not make me. Anyway, Emiru. Emiru speaks out on exactly what happened to her. Anyway, she's got a tweet here which I want to read through. But okay, let's have a gander. Hello, everyone. I'm okay, and thank you for all the kind messages. Sorry I can't respond to them all. Yesterday, a man who was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon, and even in front of another creator meet and greet, to grab me and my face and try to kiss me. I didn't realize this at all. He was allowed to cross multiple barriers. Okay, I'll completely admit, I misread this. What I thought the people were saying when they said that he'd like crossed barriers was multiple layers of protection in order to protect streamers, right? You've got the vetting, you've got like security guards being there. Like he literally walked past a member of security, right? That's how I read it. Anyway. So, he was allowed to cross multiple barriers at TwitchCon and even in front of another creator meet and greet to grab me and my face and try and kiss me. Fortunately, he was not able to, but a lot of people have pointed out that it could have been a lot worse. I'm obviously shaken up by what happened, and it's not the first time I've dealt with something like this, but to tell you honestly, I'm a lot more hurt and upset by how Twitch handled it during and after the fact. like I said, I don't understand how he was allowed to make it up to me in the first place. The security in the clip who reacts is my own security. It's true, my favourite and usual security guard was banned for holding a stalker's arm to bring him to the police at a past TwitchCon. I think I remember this. I do remember this. Wasn't that... I think that was last year, wasn't it? I don't think it was exactly to bring him to the police. It was more so detaining him there, doing a citizen's arrest, in order to, like, to prevent the guy from going. I remember having, like, at least personally, mixed opinions of what exactly happened at the time. Clip in Discord of her talking about it. I appreciate it. Dude, have I just got loads of Shellbow content in my feed right now? Okay. Here we are.
I don't think that's true. Okay, maybe I shouldn't talk about this, whatever, who cares. I had a security guard 2 years ago where there was a guy following me around TwitchCon, and he like asked him to stop multiple times. My guard asked him and the guy wouldn't stop, so he grabbed the guy, but he didn't like hurt him. He was just holding the guy until like the con security came. And then for some reason they're like, yeah, because your security guard touched him, he's like perma-banned from the venue forever. But he didn't even hit him or anything. He just like held him while they waited for like the police to come. And,
what the fuck?
And it was like my favorite.
If that guy did have a case, right? If somebody's security like acted upon somebody, since that person's been approved, would Twitch not also have liability? That's what I'm thinking there, from like Twitch's point of view. If you've got people who are able to like bring their own security, if they do like IRL content and they usually like walk around with security, there's a whole consideration whether these people actually have a license, right? That would be one thing. And then another one would be, how does this actually affect TwitchCon? If they've accepted the person should be allowed to like enter into the venue and act by proxy as security. If they like act out or act in a way that could have liability, I think Twitch would have to like foot that bill. Yeah. But security have their own insurance too, normally? Well, that's the thing. Now, I do remember, because I covered this before, in the lead up to TwitchCon this time, with a lot of the concerns that had gone on, about security, right? And about people having their own personal security, Twitch did release a statement where they said, basically, you know, the kind of security that people have, okay? The kind of security that people, like, really want to have in the venue, because they have a personal relationship with the streamer. It's not necessarily because they have, like, insurance, a license, or, you know, experience, even, in some cases, to be able to actually act as somebody's personal security guard. But, yeah. It doesn't matter if the security has their own insurance. It doesn't matter, they could sue Twitch themselves. I think it would be a joint liability situation, but, yeah. So, yeah. Twitch had, like, a whole list of reasons why exactly they wrote out why they were going to allow or disallow certain security to be allowed, but, yeah.
Security guard, I can't have him at TwitchCon anymore. I was just like,
fucked.
okay, like, it was so sad, because he did, like, everything.
Okay. There we are. Nice. Okay. Dude, I've got some insane misogynists in my community. I mean, okay. I only show this, okay? I only show this to expose it and to point out exactly what I don't want going on in this Discord anymore. So, somebody, actually, I am going to name and shame. Pezis God just put this in the Discord. He never saw her without makeup, I guess. This is exactly the kind of behavior that I want to heavily discourage. That's not even true. Pezis God, you've got it wrong. You've got it totally wrong. That actually, she has makeup on there. You can tell. Right? You can already tell. There's no way she's picked her eyebrows to look like that, okay? Whatever the horror is of her without makeup, as many women have, okay? It's a lot worse than this. This is the PG version. Anyway. Disgusting behavior. Truly want to stamp that out if we can. Mods, if you see anything else like that, I'd appreciate you, you know, at somebody, tag somebody, you know, let somebody know. Let your voice be heard. Anyway. going back to this poor lady's statement. Okay. So, like I said, I don't understand how he was allowed to make it to me in the first place. The security in the clip who reacts is my own. It's true my favourite unusual security guard was banned for holding a stalker's arm to bring him to police and it passed TwitchCon. The thing about the clip is, as well, I can't show it. I did earlier, okay, in about as much detail as I'm comfortable going into. The guy literally just like, like goes like straight across the stage, like directly to her, right? In order to like interact with us in some way. Literally straight past her security guard. Huh? What's going on there? I don't get that at all. Now, I guess the response would be, if she had never bought that security, if she had never paid for that security, what exactly would have happened? Why don't TwitchCon have security stationed at these events, these meet and greets? Because I guess the question is, if you are going to start allowing and disallowing different people's security from attending the event, shouldn't you fill in, right? If you want to, like, actually work with creators, like, collaboratively, and make it so they don't feel as though they need their own personal security, you should probably step up and address that need yourself, right? Food for thought. Food for thought. Anyway. However, there were at least 3 or 4 other TwitchCon security staff in the area who did not react and let the guy walk away, as you can see in the clip, since they don't even appear in frame. Lol. The woman who is walking me away is my own personal manager, and behind the booth, the only 2 people who were checking on me and comforting me were her and my friend. None of the TwitchCon staff came to ask what happened or if I was okay. My friend, who was present, told me Twitch security were also behind the booth afterwards, joking about how they didn't even see what happened, and immediately laughed and moved on to talk about something else. So this is like hearsay, but okay, maybe, possibly, I don't know. This is like a third-hand report from what happened. Yeah, I don't know how much stock I put in that. So, if nobody was checking if I was okay, or if I needed anything, and they let the guy run away initially, I have no idea what anyone hired to keep the event safe was doing. Lol. Listen, I will just admit, like, I guess, not negligence, like ignorance here, right? I'm not actually sure what a security manager is supposed to do in that moment, right? What a security guard is supposed to do. Especially at a huge public event where you can worry about, like, well, are his friends going to start kicking off with the security? Is there going to start being like a huge scrap between the security and this guy and his mates? Is it going to escalate into like a bigger thing if you actually detain the guy? You've got him on video. You've got him on camera. You can get him later, right? You can get him later. You can identify him. He's got a pass. He's been followed through the entire event. There's no way there isn't cameras everywhere. What is the benefit of detaining him in that moment, except for retribution, right? For punishment. For feeling as though, like, he's done something wrong and I need action taken against him right now because he deserves it and he shouldn't be able to walk around, right? Outside of that, I'm not really sure if I buy this need for there to be, like, boom, immediately take him down, you know? Anyway. Yeah. Stopping him from shanking someone else, maybe. That would be the concern. But, like, how often is that, right? Because the question would be, out of how many times is somebody going to be there with friends and there's going to start being, like, a big scrap between security and somebody else, versus you know who he is, you've seen what he's wearing, you can let other people know, and then everyone else is on the watch for this guy, right? Kind of try and keep an eye for him as he's, like, moving about. That would be my presumption, because until we've heard from Dan Clancy in full, thank you, Taylor, there's not going to be really any understanding of exactly what the security were thinking at that time, right? But anyway, well, now it's not funny. Shut the f*** up, mate. Shut the f*** up. Now I know not to let Dickers be my security. You should have been able to tell that just from seeing me, mate. Okay. Stop, guys! It's going. You're going too far. You're going too far now, dude. I don't think I'd be terribly effective. No. Get away from her! Get away from her! I don't know if I would be much help. Dude. Dude, me and Gaming Otter. We've got the new security for TwitchCon sorted out. Some guy tries to touch it up with female streamer. Well, you know you have to deal with afterwards. Then we're moving on. We're moving on. Okay. You naughty man. Okay. Anyway. Okay, so in Twitch's statement, they said the guy was immediately caught and detained. I'm sorry, but this is a blatant lie. He was allowed to walk away from my meet and greet, and I didn't hear he was caught until hours after he attacked me. And it felt like this only happened because my manager pressing it, not because TwitchCon staff, not because TwitchCon staff present thought it was a big deal. I have a lot more I want to say, but I will say it on stream later today instead of writing a book on here. Thank you guys again. Sorry you all had to see that. This is definitely my last TwitchCon, and it saddens me to say as a 10-year off and on attendee at TwitchCon, I think other creators should seriously consider not attending it in future. I did not feel cared for or protected, even bringing my own security and staff. I can't imagine how creators without we'll cut that. I can't imagine how creators without those options would feel. Stay safe, y'all. Everything's gonna be okay. Okay. Because the question would be, did they actually go out and catch the guy because you insisted? Or was that the plan anyway? And you insisting kind of did nothing, right? Because you could imagine, they don't want necessarily for there to be, like, a huge scrap in that moment. They can, like, collar him or so, like, alright, mate. Do you want to come to the side? We just gotta, gotta ask you a few questions in the back, alright? Would you mind coming with us, mate? Later on, when it's a little, not quite as inflamed, the situation is a little bit less tense, right? And you could imagine Emiru and her team saying, like, catch him, catch him, catch him, catch him, catch him, catch him, catch him. It's like, yeah, okay, we are, catch him, catch him, catch him. And then they eventually do. It's like, well, it was only because I asked. It was only because I said, right? So again, I'm not discounting what she's saying. I'm sure the way she was treated is, like, pretty horrific, right? Especially as a woman. I'll say as well, a small woman who's just been, like, essentially the victim of an, right? That's not what anyone wants. And the fact that she feels as though she was, like, callously dealt with. Yeah, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. But anyway, let's have a gander. Let's have a look. Here's the statement in full. We need to ask you a couple questions in a forest. Not funny. If you'd like to step into this public bathroom, sir, we... No.
Wake the f up, samurai. We have a city to burn. Okay, so first of all, you guys will have to forgive me because I'm not meant to be doing streams like this. I'm meant to be playing dress up in my room, playing video games, okay? I did not want to have to do like a stream like this. Like, it feels like I'm doing like a press con.
I thought you were watching porn. What are these moans? These moans are of a content creator who has to talk about public drama. Now, personally, some people are built from it. Some people aren't built for it, right? To be fair, talking about a drama that you're, like, intensely involved in. It is literally you on screen right now. Would probably feel a little bit different, but,
Conference or something, but first of all, hope you guys are all feeling okay. Sorry you had to see that. You know what I'm supposed to be doing right now, actually? I'm supposed to be going over my run-up show for my TwitchCon show, which, I am still doing, by the way, because, of all the work that the production staff and the cosplayers in it put into it. It's not their fault that happened. I'm still gonna do it. But yeah, I don't even know where to start. I don't know if you guys...
Alright, I can't... Wait, what was this? Dickers, I can't believe you're swooping for Twitch. They obviously let him get away straight after. Yeah, I accept that, right? I obviously accept that. You can see that in the clip. I'm just trying to wonder if, like, giving two sides here, rather than, like, concluding on one side. Because the creator has spoken out about it, trying to wait for what the venue staff is saying, right? So I'm trying to eke out what Twitch could say and trying to be a little bit more fair-minded about it. Hold on. FanFan leaked that Twitch is trying to force her to use their security after major backlash from Emiru situation. It's not for me, it's for PR. Hold on. Huge shout out to Killjoy. Thank you very much. Hold on.
I told my Twitch partner. And so I told my Twitch partner manager, I was like, listen, I know you guys are trying to help, and I know you guys are, I know the whole Emmy thing happened, but like, don't force this on me, you know? Like, I get you guys kind of have to, like, you're trying to cover your asses. No offense. Probably shouldn't be saying this with the Twitch Rivals thing right on my screen, but you know what I mean? Now you're just overdoing it, and I did not ask for this. Like, they asked me before I came if I needed an escort between my events, and if they needed someone to watch over me during my events, or like if I'm walking around the convention and stuff. And all along I was like, no, I don't want one.
This seems a little bit stupid. I'm not sure about this. So what? TwitchCon is offering the kind of support that creators have probably been hoping for quite a while, and that we'd probably like hope that big creators would get, and now we're complaining? Now we're complaining about that? I don't get the angle here. Yeah, I don't get the angle here. I don't know what the impediment is about forcing security. What's the issue? It's like blokes just like stand around and like try and monitor you during a meet and greet or during an event. What's the drawback? What's the complaint? I'm sure if you want to like deny it, maybe, I guess you should feel free. Maybe, I guess. I don't really what the incentive was.
One.
Were they hoping this for a while? Well, they were hoping that TwitchCon would take security more seriously. What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's not even for me. It's just for PR. And I'm like, I don't want one. And so I told my Twitch partner.
I don't really know what the complaint is here. This just seems incredibly silly. I don't know. Oh my god. After a huge public happens at TwitchCon, now Twitch is offering me all this security and stuff and making me feel like safe and secure and oh, what? What is the complaint? I don't get that at all. This seems a little bit out of touch. I don't know.
You guys can see this. I wrote notes for this.
Dude, the thing is with that is Twitch has identified possibly that FanFan doesn't have the right amount of security, that she could do with more security. And she's essentially looking at her stream chat saying, I will have less security. All these other streamers, yeah, loads of security. They're being offered shit tons. Me? Nah, I've toned it down. I'll see you later, checkered shirt. What is she fucking doing?
Because there's so much stuff that I feel like needs to be talked about, which is also why I was very aggressive in my tweet earlier today, which is, I mean, you guys know me. I am never like that, but I just feel like, in a way, it's my responsibility, you know what I mean? Because it's not just about me, like this could have happened to anyone. Honestly, for all we know, this could have already happened to someone, a small streamer, and someone just wasn't filming it. Which, okay, I'll just start this by saying, shout out to the guy who filmed it and put it on Twitter, because last night after this happened, I was thinking like I have to talk about this. Like, people need to know that this happened. Like, how am I gonna do that? And then someone happened to post it on Twitter. So thank God I didn't have to figure that out myself. Which, okay, like I said, this is gonna be a mess because I'm not meant to be doing these kinds of streams. I don't think that Twitch would have put out an official statement if that clip wasn't posted and going viral. And even after the fact that that clip was posted and going viral, as far as I know, the other people who had meet and greets today were not reached out to ask if they wanted extra security.
That's not true. Okay. is a lot of this going to be speculation on her side for exactly what is or isn't happening. Like, she's speculating that if there wasn't a Twitter clip, they wouldn't have made, like, a huge buzz about this, or they wouldn't have made a statement at all, despite Emiru being a huge streamer. Knowledge of this would have got out. It would have been a public spectacle some way, somehow, even if it was just her talking about it.
Or if they even wanted to cancel their meet and greet. Like, maybe some people were, but I know for a fact Extra Emily wasn't. My personal manager made sure that she had extra security. No one reached out to her. Don't know about everyone, but I know that for a fact. Okay, so let's just start from the beginning, because I want to be able to run through everything before the show starts. The show starts in an hour. Okay, my notes are a mess. It looks like a schizo board. But yeah, again, thank you to the guy that put it on Twitter. Thank you to the people that talked about it, because otherwise, I don't know if anything would have been done or would have been taken seriously. Straight up. So I'm just gonna go through, from my perspective, what happened, what I saw, the order of events. So I was doing my meet and greet, and I've seen people saying that it was an obligation given to me, like to be a featured creator and to have my show, I had to do a meet and greet, which is true. I was told that I had to do a meet and greet, but as far as I know...
Wait, hold on. I don't think it's good to complain about being offered security. I just think they should be allowing creators to bring in their trusted personnel. Okay. The problem is with that, is that if there is a concern about Twitch having liability for the security that they, like, accept or allow or, you know, permit for streamers to have there, then, obviously, Twitch will be happy to have any personnel there, okay? Barring concerns over, what would it be, like brand integrity. If there's something huge that kicks off, somebody gets security who, like, brings a knife or brings, like, knuckle dusters or something like that. There's a huge, like, dust up at TwitchCon. That's going to look pretty bad. But even ignoring that fact, right? Let's say Twitch is just worried about the liability. I'm sure they'd be fine with that, so long as the streamer would sign something that says, yeah, okay, if anything, like, comes back on Twitch, I will foot the legal bills, right? If there is, like, a case brought against Twitch, I will also pay for any liability, right? I don't think streamers would be happy to paying that at all. Not at all, right? So it's all in terms of, like, trade-offs. In terms of, like, having an intelligent conversation about it and what actually should happen. There's going to be trade-offs wherever you want to go, right?
There's some people that canceled. Regardless, I didn't cancel. I thought it was going to be fine. So I show up at 4. I'm doing my meet and greet. This happened about 30 minutes into my meet and greet, so I was probably only like 20 to 30% done with my meet and greet. I was just taking a picture with someone else, like completely normal, nice guy. And then I see out of the corner of my eye, there's a guy walking around the side of the meet and greet, and he crosses in front of the meet and greet of the person to the left of me, which is a VTuber. So he's able to walk up and in front of another streamer's meet and greet, and then he walks up to me, and he's like walking with a purpose, you know what I mean? And he grabs me, but I'm like, wait, what the f? Like, but in my head, I'm like, it seems like he's supposed to be here, and then he leans in like he's gonna tell me something. So in my head, I'm like, maybe it's like TwitchCon staff like coming to let me know something, because like sometimes it'll happen where you're at an event and someone will like come up to like let you know something, you know what I mean? But I'm still like freaked out because he grabbed me. That's not normal. And then he grabs my face and he leans in and lips puckered tries to kiss me, and I start screaming. You can't hear it in the clip, but I'm screaming my head off. And then my security, Twitch's security, is like nowhere near me nor to be found. I can see them, but they don't do anything. My security jumps up and shoves the guy away from me and is like, get the out of here. And he's allowed to walk away and leave. Yeah, so then after this point, I did not see a lot of what happened here. This is just based off what people in the line told me. My friend Bonnie, who was there, told me, and Melissa, my manager, told me. So the woman who moved me away from the meet and greet was my personal manager. That was not Twitch staff. No one in Twitch staff came up to me to like see what was going on. My manager and Bonnie moved me to the back, and they're like hugging me and being like, do you want to finish your meet and greet, basically.
I mean, the problem is, now I don't know if there's been a trade-off where she's been allowed to bring her own personal security, and it's like, okay, if you want to have yours rather than like TwitchCon supplying them, That's fine. You know, the person who's like standing right beside you, they can be your guy. The guy literally like stormed past her security. I don't know how she's not laying like any of the blame on their feet at all though, right? This was somebody who apparently, has like jumped over barriers in order to like get to her. Nobody knows who this guy is. It doesn't look as though he's come from the line, from what she's said. And they just like, boom. She skimped on security? Maybe. But then, unfortunately, that'd be on her security, right? Should have to take it up with them. I'm not sure.
And I was back there for like a minute, and I was like, you know what, like, I want to finish it, because like of all these people here that, you know, they're just nice, normal people. And I go back out there, and still there's no one from Twitch there. And the poor guy that I was taking the picture with originally, he's like mortified, and he's like, what the f just happened? And again, no one from Twitch there. I say to this guy, I'm like, I'm sorry you had to see that. And he's like, no, like, I'm so sorry that happened to you. Why am I having to tell the TwitchCon attendees and my fans, sorry you had to see that, and not like someone from Twitch or Twitch security? Anyway, so I didn't see this. This is just what my friend and my manager were telling me. The Twitch security like kind of like got together after that, and we were like, wait, what happened? Oh, I didn't even see what happened, haha, and just like started talking about something else. So it's like, okay, and then that's the events of what happened, just to like.
It sounds as though if they're so like relaxed about it, it doesn't seem, in terms of how the security's been arranged, like the communication going on, if TwitchCon is supposed to be the ones being the security for this particular meet and greet, and then they don't just happen to like be around in the area, but they're supposed to be the ones monitoring it, that doesn't really make sense. If they don't even know what's gone on, they haven't even seen what's gone on, and then they have to hear about it later on after it's already happened, that seems really odd. Seems really, really odd. Now, people are saying that you wouldn't want to have a situation where you've got two security teams who don't really have communication together, right? They're not part of the same security team. Just having, like, one person to be, like, general security and another person specifically to look after, like, Emiru. Maybe that decision can be made out there, right? Twitch security was lacking for sure. Well, okay. So there are two ways you can have this, right? TwitchCon has general security, and then for you have personal security. Twitch doesn't assign anyone to you. Twitch doesn't force you to take one of their security guards and make them, part of your security team? No. They should be like, accountable to Twitch if they're employed by Twitch, because that's always going to be how it goes, right? Whoever employs these people, they're ultimately accountable to. So, you know, if they're hired by Twitch, they're accountable to Twitch. But in terms of the personal security, who's actually there during the meet and greet, if you've got your own people, Twitch is probably going to expect that, okay, you've argued to have your own people, you're more comfortable with them, okay, cool. They've got you sorted, nice. Is Twitch supposed to, like, override that? If you've said that you've got people that you feel more comfortable with, they're, like, a better alternative? I don't know, it's a really, really weird situation now, especially given the fact that essentially this guy has walked straight past Emiru's security in order to march up to the guy. What's the alternative here? People are having their own security. People's own security is failing them, and it's still on Twitch because they didn't do more. At this point, Twitch's response has got to be making sure that people can't have security, or making that like an afterthought, and just having their own security there all the time.
Like, line all that up. But I didn't talk at all about the aftermath of all of this at all, and I don't think anyone knows this, save for like maybe some streamers that I'm friends with that came to spend time with me or that I talked to last night. Whew, okay. So I finished the meet and greet, and I was escorted back to my hotel by my one security guard. Oh, and also, by the way, I've seen clips, people bring up clips of me talking about how my previous favorite security guard was permabanned from TwitchCon because at a previous TwitchCon 2 years ago, I think it was 2 years ago, there was a stalker and he held him by the arm until police got there. And because of that, he was indefinitely banned from TwitchCon. Like from all of TwitchCon, not just the venue, because that was in Las Vegas. Anyway, that just a side note. Okay, man, I wrote down a lot of shit here. Okay, can I just also say, what you guys are seeing here is character development. I've always been the person who never says shit. Like, I just want everyone to have fun for things to go well. Why am I the person who has to do this? So anyway, after I'm escorted back to my hotel, I let some of my friends know. They come to my hotel to see me and spend time with me, like make sure I'm okay and everything. And then my manager's letting me know. She says, okay, my manager, I've contacted the police. They're gonna come talk to you about pressing charges, etc. They're trying to find the guy. They haven't found him. I'm like, what? Anyway, so at some point while I'm with my friends, a police officer comes and talks to me, interviews my manager, talks to my Twitch partner manager, who, by the way, she's so sweet. Like, she didn't do anything wrong here.
Wait, okay, Tyrone, sorry, we've got to hear from Black voices right now. They should have it like prisons, where there's a window between you and you talk on phones. Okay, mate, thank you. Unironically, okay, as much as that's a joke, I do get that. I was thinking that earlier. Now, I don't know if it's a totally worthless contribution, but if you're having meet and greets, isn't there actually a benefit to having a meet and greet table where you sit down at, right? And then fans come and they've got like autographs, so they say like hi or whatever like that. Because then, you know, shit talk it, say that it's insufficient. You have at least got a physical barrier there, right? You've got the table across from you. What they're going to do, jump over? That's a lot less likely. That's at least something there to put some kind of distance there between the streamer and the fan. Now, obviously, people always kind of like walk around and, yeah, okay, kind of smile for the photo, whatever the but that's at least a barrier. That's at least some form of protection that you've got there.
All of that happens, and then
maybe that should just be the way they do it going forward. No like standing up kind of impromptu meet and greets.
I'm complaining to my friends. I'm like, what the f do I do here, guys? Like, I have to talk about this, blah blah blah. And they're like, oh, like don't worry about that right now. And then suddenly Wake's like, wait, why is my Discord saying hope Emmy's okay? And I'm like, oh. I guess the clip got posted. Again, thank God someone was filming, because otherwise I don't think Twitch would have said anything. So after that, I start getting a lot of messages. I'm responding to people, and my manager comes back to me, and she's upset. She's like, okay, I've been talking to Twitch people, and I'm really upset because I noticed a lot of negligence around the event, and I'm not happy with the way that they're handling it now. And I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, I asked them, you know, like, what are they gonna do about this? And you know what they said initially? They said, oh, well, he's banned from the platform for 30 days.
Dude, that is such a dicker's reaction. Holy shit. I can't even criticize it. Dude. To be fair, if there was tabled meet and greets, that's exactly what would happen. POV, you're getting to meet Emiru for the first time in real life.
Banned from the platform for 30 days.
Come here, my love. Dude. The 30-day ban is absolutely crazy, though. Absolutely crazy. Like, even, like, let's say Twitch is primarily concerned with PR. Why not just do a permaban? Why not just do a permaban? What? You can go to TwitchCon, try and kiss somebody, try and schmooze them up, and then what? You've got nothing? No ban, no punishment, no nothing? You'll be fine at the next con? Banned from the con, at least? We don't know, right? That's a problem as well. I think the clear thing, if Twitch is in any way concerned about stopping this kind of behavior in the future, yeah, and as an afterthought, hopefully, their own brand and PR, permaban for the person across the site to disincentivize it, and then to make sure that, again, this person can't come again, permanent banning from the event. I don't know what else there could possibly be that Twitch can do, like, you know, on the platform side. I can't think anything less than that. I can't think of anything less than that Twitch should do.
What? And then she's obviously like, hello? Like, that needs to be indefinite. What the f are you talking about? Also, that's like nothing to do with anything. No one gives a f if he's banned on Twitch or not. Like, we're talking about the convention here. So they changed it to indefinite. Takes an hour for that to happen, by the way. These two people are the head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch.
That's interesting. That is interesting. Obviously, because Twitch is a subsidiary of Amazon. Is it Amazon security? that is actually heading this event? That would be fascinating to find out. The Amazon security head is part of this.
Takes an hour for that to happen, by the way. These two people are the head of security for Amazon and the head of risk for Twitch. Also, later the same night, I'm not gonna drop names here because I wasn't there, so I didn't
Amazon sent people in after this happened. Really? Okay, I haven't seen anything to do with that.
see it, but I had multiple people tell me that key Twitch representatives last night were out partying. Okay.
I mean, this is more like PR than anything else. I don't know if I really care about that.
Oh, also another detail. Sorry, my lines are all crazy here. My Twitch didn't approach my manager to talk to their head of security. It took them 2 hours to approach her to talk about what happened. And by then, she had already talked to police and called a lawyer on her own. My manager, Melissa. And they showed her a photo of the guy that I believe a fan took, by the way. A fan took a photo of him, not one of their security guards. They're like, oh yeah, here's his photo. We're like gonna find him. He still had his badge and his wristband and everything. The guy. So, yeah, I really feel like a lot of this process wouldn't have happened if it weren't for my manager advocating for me so hard. Which again, I'll get to that later. I'll keep going here. So they also showed my manager some security footage of the area, and the guy was able, he was waiting for there to be a gap in security, and there was. He was able to walk through the side, not through like the 2 lanes of meet and greet people who had signed up and been like background checked for my meet and greet. He was able to just walk through because there just wasn't like consistent security there. Oh my gosh. And then, so yeah, that's basically my day yesterday. And then today, this morning, I was told that Amazon flew in their global head of something to redesign the whole process and security of the con for the rest of the convention. Why wasn't there someone like that here already? Or like they didn't do that beforehand? Like,
right, okay, so that's where the Amazon head of security comes from. Right, okay.
hello? I'm sorry. So yeah, they, I guess they know that they f***ed up really bad if they're flying in their Amazon's global head. And also, I want to make it clear so that people understand this. I am so lucky and privileged, okay? Do you know how much I spent on security to be able to come to this event in the first place? Like, but I'm not just talking about yesterday, I'm talking about my security for like my RV trip that I did with my friends and stuff. I spent over $10,000.
Wait, she's talking about the security that she's done for an RV trip.
To be able to come to this event in the first place. I'm privileged, okay? Do you know how much I spent on security to be able to come to this event in the first place? Like, but I'm not just talking about yesterday, I'm talking about my security for like my RV trip that I did with my friends and stuff. I spent over $10,000.
So she's been doing like an RV trip for how long to be able to travel to TwitchCon? I mean, that's not like a necessary expense, is it? Okay. How long has she been traveling for? Hold on. Actually, I saw a clip of this. Emiru gets emotional. Here we are. Just, you know, if you're wondering what I what I happen to watch in my spare time, hold on. Go on. Let me have a look at my history. I know it's in here somewhere. Save to favorites, possibly. Wait, hold on. One moment. Hold on. Yeah, here we are. Emiru opens up and gets emotional on stream. This is it. Yeah, 3 days ago.
We're so far out of reach, and like I couldn't be friends with them, even though they were so nice. I couldn't be friends with them. But now I feel like, you know, we're really all friends, and we really all care about each other, and like a lot of it, you know, is for stream. But I'm just really grateful for the way that things are now. And things are honestly better than I ever thought that they could be.
Oh, not for long. If only she knew. If only she knew. God, what a thing to say, dude. Oh my god. All right. Hold on. We're going back. We're bringing it back. Okay, so yeah, she's been doing this this RV trip. I don't know if it's really fair to conflate those figures. 10K as well. It's like one guy. It's like one dude that it seems as though she's got. Hold on. Do we see anybody else in the clip? Yeah, it's not fair to conflate those figures. Those figures are like completely different. Okay. Are we doing a little bit of a loose conflation here, maybe? Just a little bit of like a, you know, mixing figures in with one another. Okay, here we are. So, yeah. I don't necessarily know, obviously I can't play this on YouTube. I don't know if I can see anybody who actually intervenes in a security team, except for this guy. And that's her manager that walks up. There's a security guy right there, and that's her manager. 10K? Really? Or is she talking about... Okay, because here's the other thing that could be possible. Is, in the 10K figure that she's talking about, it could be her security, Cinna's security, extra Emily's security, and the other girl, I don't know, she's got shit, I don't know who she is. It could be for security for all four of them, right? That she's like bundling into one figure? Okay.
Some people who stream on Twitch don't even make $10,000 in a year. What the f are they supposed to do? Like, if you watch the clip, the security guard who pushes the guy away is my security. The woman who pulls me to the back, my manager. If you're a small streamer and you don't have those resources, or someone in your line's not filming, what the f do you do? No one would have known. Like, it's actually insane.
This seems a little bit hysterical. Nobody would have known. I mean, you know. The staff around you know. If you had Twitch security instead of your own personal security guard. And then if not, they're behind there. If you feel like you've got to report it, you can report it. Nobody would have known if there wasn't a Twitter clip. It's not true, is it?
I'm genuinely angry. Like, I am not an angry person. Like, it's just ridiculous. And like, honestly, I genuinely think there have been other people who have been groped, like, who knows, worse.
Some of them, okay, even by members of the public. They weren't all other streamers.
These conventions, and just nobody knows. Because like I said, they didn't post any kind of announcement, weren't letting other streamers with similar events as me, similar meet and greets know, until there was like a viral clip. And by the way, they can't even mention my name in it. Thank you guys, thank you. And okay, hold on. Let me pull up what they wrote, because that was another thing that was crazy to wake up to. Alright, let me read this. The safety and security of all those attending TwitchCon is our highest priority. The behavior displayed by the individual involved in the incident yesterday involving a high-profile streamer was completely unacceptable and deeply unsettling. In line with existing TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement event security were on site. That's a lie. That's literally a lie. And responded to the incident. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to the TwitchCon premises, and they're banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. Okay?
I don't know if that would be a lie. I'd be quite surprised, to be fair, if they didn't have at least like some kind of police presence. She's saying that's a lie. I don't know why she's saying that's a lie, but okay.
Like, no one cares about online. We are coordinating with the impacted creators team, that's true, and per our standard protocols, continue to cooperate with any law enforcement investigations. We've increased security at the meet and greet attendee check-in point, and we'll have additional security personnel surrounding participating streamers. If you've RSVP'd for a meet and greet, please note that we're unable to accommodate +1s for the remainder of the event. You know why they said that? They only thought about that because of Melissa, my manager. She said, were you vetting people coming through the line? They said, oh yeah, everyone had to sign up, and they get background checks, but they're allowed to bring a +1. Well, are there +1s background checked? No! Melissa was like, okay guys,
Right, so that's where that claim is coming from, right.
Twitch has a zero tolerance for harassment or acts that inhibit the safety and security of our community. Yeah, I don't even know, like, I'm just tired, guys, like, I'm just so tired of...
Yeah, listen, it doesn't actually matter if the guy's a +1, that actually isn't irrelevant. Sorry, that isn't relevant. Whether he was, like, a guest that signed up himself, or whether it was somebody else's +1, it's still like a little bit of a loophole in the whole, like, security apparatus. It's clear that that is something that people can exploit to be able to go through. But it's not even clear if he was a meet and greet attendee. He might have just been some random guy. For all we know, and for all the information we have right now, it's not exactly clear, okay? But even so, the fact that they have, like, loopholes like that are so easily exploited, that is still a matter of concern, right? She's hysterical, and that's coming from me. She is. I don't know. I would feel incredibly shaken up. I could understand why she feels a little hysterical, okay? I understand. In the way that I'm interpreting it, and the information that I'm taking that into account, but at the same time, gotta feel bad for the girl, no?
I've just had so many things happen, and, like, you know, stuff just happens, like, especially when you're, like, a creator, or, like, a girl creator in particular, but I just feel like I've been failed so many times, or lied to so many times, and I'm always like, you know, it's okay, we'll figure it out. You should have figured it out already. You should have figured it out already. Oh my god. So yeah,
I mean, I don't know why there's absolutely no heat at all for her own security stuff. I don't know.
That's basically, unless I'm forgetting something, a rundown of everything. But yeah, it's insane. And, I mean, I'm not usually the type of person to talk about this stuff, but it's like, well, did I lie about anything? No. Like, what are you gonna be mad at me for telling, like, the things that y'all did wrong? And, like, okay, so another thought that I had was, like, maybe, like, the reason Twitch said in their thing, like, oh, security immediately got the guy. Maybe, like, you know, they hired, like, shitty security and they, like, lied it up so they wouldn't, like, you know, lose their job or not get paid. Maybe if you guys had, like, you know, actual cameras and, like, good comms, no one would be able to lie or have to lie. Like, why is it better to, or, like, easier to find out something happened in Among Us than at TwitchCon? Hello? It's insane. But yeah, I just want to tell you guys all that. This is character development. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of it. Like, this was just the final straw for me.
Do we actually have any information to be able to confirm when this guy was detained and kicked out? Emiru claims that it wasn't for, like, hours afterwards. Twitch claims that it was straight away. I mean, here's the statement right here. In line with TwitchCon security protocols, law enforcement and event security are on site and responded to the event. We immediately blocked this individual from returning to the TwitchCon premises, and they were banned indefinitely from Twitch, both online and in-person events. We coordinated with the impacted creators team. They're claiming that it was. She's claiming that it's not. Where does the truth lie? And what exactly does Twitch mean when they say immediate? Banned him from returning. Yeah, so that's going to be talking about, like, kicking out, right? And making sure that he can't come back in.
Oh my goodness. Oh. But yeah, I have been... Okay.
It shouldn't have happened, but he only hugged her. She's acting like she was... Well, you could understand it'd be, like, incredibly... Listen, just look at the guy, okay? Just look at the difference in size between these two people. Hold on. Okay, I don't want this to play. Not on YouTube. Not on YouTube, thank you. Okay, here we are. Like, if you look at the size of her... Now, I don't know how big this guy is. Apparently, he's a VTuber, so we're presuming about 5'2". Like, he's relatively big. He's like... Meow, comes flying by towards her. And then leans in. Doesn't just hug her, but then leans in to start, like, tonguing her, or whatever the I can understand feeling pretty freaked out at that. The fact that random members of the public are just, like, allowed, permissed, not stopped by the security. Your security, who are actually there at the time, right? Anyway, yeah, I can understand why she's shook up.
Okay, something else.
He looks like you, Dickers. Okay, I'm glad everybody could get that out of their system. That comment will now be banned, okay? You can't talk about that anymore. Here at Dickers TV, we take trust and safety quite seriously. on platform, we allow for the banning of chatters indefinitely to maintain a safe environment, and that comment is going to get you banned in the future, okay? He doesn't look like me. He looks white, very, very slightly stocky. He wears jeans, okay? Let me have a gander. Let me have a gander. His hair is very tightly cut, yeah? He has got black hair. Where have the ginger jokes gone all of a sudden? Where have all the ginger jokes gone? Trimmed, clean-cut hair, black, not ginger, not even blonde, okay? Little porky, okay? I'll accept that. Little porky. Clean-shaven. Looks like you, Dickers. F*** off. You're playing the clip now, Todd. I'm not, okay? I'm actually not. I'm just looking at stills, okay? Frame by frame, I'm just looking at stills. Technically not playing
Sorry,
it.
I just keep remembering shit. It's gonna be like this for the rest of the stream. I saw a thing that said I was in their like top 5 or top 10 most followed streamers attending this event. Again, if that happened to me, what the f is happening to small creators that we don't even hear about because no one's filming them? Like, they tweet it and like Twitch doesn't feel the need to follow up with them or publicly. It's just... But yeah, I think I covered everything, and I've been a streamer on Twitch for 10 years. I attended the very first or maybe the second TwitchCon ever in 2016, 2015. And yeah, like I understand back then it was different, but I feel like I know they say there's security upgrades, but it really feels like there's not. Like another thing that happened, I forgot to mention. So the way that the meet and greet worked is like people line up, they come through, they take a picture, then they're supposed to walk through the back and leave. There were people walking through the back trying to come up to my booth, or like, I mean, not all of them were like malicious intent, obviously. Like some people would leave and be like, oh shit, my picture is bad, I'm gonna go back and ask for another one. And my manager had to be the one to tell them like, oh no, you can't, like keep moving. And there was even like, I think it was Neon, was able to walk through the back of my meet and greet, and was like, oh hey, like, can I come say hi? And it's like, what the
Dude, no, I saw that Neon had actually responded to this. Neon, if you don't know, I think, did he used to be a Twitch streamer? Anyway, now he predominantly streams on Kick. Okay, so apparently Neon did watch this and respond to it. I don't know if it's that much of a security downfall. Again, it's not like the Pentagon, right? It's nothing of like national security. I'm pretty sure that you want like attendees, general attendees, to be in a certain orderly fashion. Creators, you're probably less concerned about, right? You're not going to be quite as concerned as a security risk that some random creator is going to start coming up and like snogging you during your meet and greet. Your meet and greet isn't there for creators, right? You don't need to manage creators. It's for the general public. But anyway, this is what Neon says.
To make sure that shit don't happen, because that's not cool. Not at all. If I was there, I would have knocked out the guy. But yeah, I was just trying to say hi. I didn't have any ill intentions. Emiru, I didn't have any bad intentions. I didn't mean anything bad. I just wanted to come say hi, and that's it. Okay, I'm a good person. I'm a good guy. I got nothing against you. But yeah, Emiru, I just wanted to say what's up. Cool. I didn't mean any harm. I just want.
Jesus Christ. Damn. So responded. Jesus Christ, dude. If you don't know, I mean, Neon does good rage bait, alright? He knows what he's doing. He does it extremely fucking well. Jesus Christ. Oh, poor Emiru. Poor Emiru. Okay, let's get back to a response.
Like, oh my god, it was just horrible. Like, there was no thought put into it at all. And yeah, I was like, man, it's just naked and afraid out here. Like, thank God I have my manager and my security and my friends. But, like, I just feel so bad for, you know, Twitch creators who wouldn't be able to be in that position. Are you okay, though? This is gonna sound up, honestly. I'm so desensitized to stuff like that when it happens, I kind of just go into, like, lock-in mode. I'm like, okay, I need to just lock in and, like, get through this. Worry about it later. So that's how I was able to finish my meet and greet. Like, my friends were telling me, like, bro, if it was me, I would have been crying. You're built different for going back out there. And like I said, I was going back out there and having to apologize to people in my own line. Being like,
I mean, she doesn't have to, right? That's just her being like an enormous people pleaser. I mean, that's why that's happening. it's not necessary to apologize to other attendees. That's just a her thing.
Sorry you saw that. I hope you're okay. And then they of course were like, what the f? Why are you saying that to me? But I felt like I had to because no one else was there. And like I said on Twitter, like I really wish I didn't have this opinion. Like I love trying to be like the positive, like, oh, let's get together and have fun, everyone. I really like would discourage other creators from going back to TwitchCon, not just because it was able to happen at all, and what happened during it, and the aftermath. Like, it's just crazy. Like, why would their PR team say that? Like, you can literally see in the clip that he's allowed to walk away. But yeah,
Would it be from when Twitch was notified? I mean, during this, she spoke about her reaction, what her manager said, what her security did. Did they ever mention when they alerted Twitch security? Because she mentioned that he was allowed to just walk away. Now, obviously, Twitch has made a very clear policy. They don't want people's individual security teams, like, detaining people. I don't know quite where the idea has come. This is, like, ordinary standard practice. I don't know if it is at events like these. It's gonna just, like, escalate stuff. Maybe Twitch did immediately detain the guy as soon as they found out about it. I don't know. There's going to be like a central kind of like a head of security that he's going to be able to like probably going to have to like give authorization for stuff like that, right? I think that's the only way it makes sense of my head. If TwitchCon is saying that other security guards can't attend again, or they're permanently banned, if they're going to try and like hold on to somebody's arm while they wait for the police, slightly deranged. Surely any like physical contact, like, immediately from security is going to have to be, you know, authorized by head of security or something. Like, if you want to push somebody away, that's one thing. But in terms of, like, holding on to them to then bring them to the police, that's, like, another, right?
thank you guys. Appreciate all the support and stuff. It was pretty crazy, getting all the messages and stuff last night. And again, I've said it like 5 times. Thank God that someone was filming and decided to post it, because if not, you know what I would be doing today? I would be so stressed being like, okay, do I have to disrupt my stuff that I have planned to announce that this thing happened to me and let people know that it could happen to them? So thank fucking God for that guy. Like, thank you so much for doing that. And I would just encourage everyone just to stand the fuck up. Stand up for yourself, stand up for other people, because if you don't, look what happens, which is crazy because
Fluid motion?
I saw Valkyrie, I saw Pokey, I saw Cutie saying, I don't really want to go to TwitchCon because I don't feel safe. And everyone was saying that they were stupid or overreact. Not everyone, but a lot of people. A large portion of people were saying that. And Twitch's response to that was to be like, oh, don't worry, everyone else. We up security. I should have listened to them. Especially because, I mean, a lot of people know stuff like this has happened to me in the past, and I just keep going. Like, I'm the kind of person that's like, you know what, I'm not gonna let a shitty person or a shitty thing ruin my life or like what's going on for me, you know what I mean? We ball. So I was like, I'm gonna go anyway. I'm just gonna be smart. I'm gonna pay for security. I'm only gonna do my show. How is someone gonna attack me on my show? I'm only gonna do my meet and greet. How the f would they get into a meet and greet? It's roped off with security. Nope. Nope. Lesson learned. And also after it happened, Twitch did offer if I wanted some of their Twitch security. I was like, I'm good, bro. But I was lucky enough that Clemens, who's one of my usual security guards, flew out from Austin, Texas this morning to be there with me today.
Wait, why would you deny extra security? I don't know. If you feel as though, I can understand being upset about the reaction afterwards, but if you're actually like afraid of what's going on, why would you not want extra security? I really have no clue. Why wasn't he there before? Well, I mean, what is she paying the 10 grand for?
Have to go to lengths like that.
Because she said they didn't do anything. Yeah, but it doesn't seem as though there was much, if any, Twitch security at that event. It seems as though they were happy for her security to be able to manage that.
And I have 2 other security guards. One of them,
from the way she's saying, is that there was security, but it was like slightly behind the event or slightly behind the boards, right? That would be it. The problem here isn't on like Twitch security being morons, right? The problem here isn't that, oh, Twitch security are cavemen. The problem here is coordination. It seems as though TwitchCon has thought that her security has got this. She's bringing her own security. There's been a whole faff over her being able to bring her own security. Okay. It seems though she's not happy to have TwitchCon, like, security there now, like, extra security. How happy would she have been to have, like, a bunch of other, like, ahead of the fact, right, prospectively? It seems though it's managed by her security, who the guy just walked by the way, FYI, who the guy just literally waltzed straight past. If she's not happy accepting Twitch security now, the problem isn't having Twitch-branded security. The problem is, like, coordination, right? Clearly they all feel this way, Lamau. Wait, these people are incompetent babies and they're infuriating, I'm sorry. Clearly they all feel this way. It does feel like people throwing their toys out the pram a little bit, yeah. If Twitch security let these people through the barriers to get to that position, why would she want more of Twitch security? No. She didn't have Twitch security letting him through the barriers. It was her security that did that. Her security that did that. FYI, since it seems as though this is going, like, a little bit out of control at this point, right? Just to bring it back, you might have not been here early on the stream, alright? Take a look at dude. Take a look at where her security is. That guy, there, that's her security. Right? And then he comes afterwards, springs into action, pushes him off, walks past her security. I just showed you what I'm talking about. I don't know why you're saying you are wrong, but...
Amazon's, but I have my personal security guard I feel comfortable with is, like, my main guy. And they said that they, like, changed security for the show and stuff, but yeah, I'm just done. Like, this is the kind of thing that it's like, once you break the trust for something like this, you're never getting it back. I'm sorry, you're just not. Like, it's not like this is the first time that something like this has happened. It's like, the trust was already kind of broken, and...
She said she saw the tapes from the con security, and the guy waited for a gap in Twitch security, and he got through. I don't know where you've got that from. So far as what she has said, is there would have been no recording of this if it wasn't for somebody recording it on Twitter. I mean, link me to the timestamp if you want. Or maybe I haven't got there yet.
That caused a lot of people not want to come. Like, for example, people were talking about how last year, Nick, NPLOL, and Wake Wilder, got
she verbatim said there was no cameras, yeah.
Nipple, which again, if that wasn't filmed on stream, would anything have been done? I don't know. And they didn't even make, like, an official announcement about it. They didn't reach out to Nick, as far as I know. He was saying that last year. So if they did reach out to him, it was way after the con. So it's like, did they just not think it was a big deal? Is it because Nick's a guy? Like, hello? I'm supposed to be working on my Runner show right now. I am still doing the show, like I said, because of the production staff worked really hard on it. And the cosplayers involved worked really hard on it, so I still want to do it, but this is going to be my...
No cameras directly on her. Listen, mate, okay? Link me to the timestamp where she said it. I haven't heard her say that at all. You're the first person who seemingly claimed that she said that. I don't know if any information of that kind is known at this point. I don't quite know where you've got it from. Maybe it's a Twitter clip. Maybe does she say it in this video? Does she say it somewhere else? Again, my statement from the off has been that Twitch needs to increase security, right? The idea that you're having a meet and greet exactly like this. Okay, wrong one.
You're getting too big for your boots.
There's no, like, table in between the streamer and the attendee.
Guy who her was a paid Twitch agent, trying to send a message about using their security services. Establish a monopoly, mind blown emoji.
Mind blown emoji indeed. Oh, whoops. Thank you for the 25. You'll get there. I think it's coming up soon. Okay, all right. But in any case, yeah, I've given my position, like, quite clearly. But yeah, just if you join in now, you might have not got the whole thing. But there you are.
My last TwitchCon show, I'm doing it with bbno Money and Will Neff. So even though we haven't really had time to go over this in practice, it'll be fine. It'll be a shit show, but it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fun. Lots of talented people working in Twitch production and all that. It's yeah.
Wait, you think it's coming up? Okay.
Anyway, how are we feeling, guys? Yeah, I'm flying home tomorrow, and my security guard's gonna be accompanying me to fly.
She already claimed this. It was 1307. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Was this when I was taking my hoodie off?
A lot of this process wouldn't have happened if it weren't for my manager advocating for me so hard. Which again, I'll get to that later. I'll keep going here. So they also showed my manager some security footage of the area, and the guy was he was waiting for there to be a gap in security, and there was. He was able to walk through the side, not through like the two
gap in security. Does she say Twitch security?
lanes of meet and greet people who had signed up and been like background checked for my meet and greet. So he was able to just walk through because there just wasn't like consistent security there.
Although, okay, so she doesn't say Twitch security, but there wasn't a gap in security. There was a security guard standing like right there. It was her security. But okay, all right, let's go back to it.
Especially because, I mean, a lot of people know stuff like this has happened to me in the past, and I just keep going. Like, I'm the kind of person that's like, you know what, I'm not gonna let a shitty person or a shitty thing ruin my life or like what's going on for me, you know what I mean? We ball. So I was like, I'm gonna go anyway. I'm just gonna be smart. I'm gonna pay for security. I'm only gonna do my show. How is someone gonna attack me on my show? I'm only gonna do my meet and greet.
Okay,
How the fuck
we're
would they get
further than this.
So, even though we haven't really had time to go over this in practice, it'll be fine. It'll be a shit show, but it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fun. Lots of talented people working in Twitch production and all that. It's yeah. Whew. Anyway, how we feeling, guys? Yeah, I'm flying home tomorrow, and my security guard's gonna be accompanying me to fly home. But it's just sad, the world that we live in now. Like, to me, I don't even think of myself as like someone that needs to be protected or like someone important, but it's like, you know, I was talking about how like I wanted to buy a new hamster recently. I was thinking about how if I want to do that on stream, I'd have to hire security to go buy a hamster. And like I said, I spent over $10,000 alone just to come to TwitchCon for security. I've probably spent close to 6 figures total going to cons and stuff on security. And again, it's not like this only happens to people of my size. This happens to girls or guys with 50 viewers. What the f are they supposed to do?
It does?
They can't afford that. It's like, you gotta just deal with it.
Can't.
Not there, or you're... that's another thing. I could've died yesterday.
Okay.
But yeah, obviously, I'm gonna be making my own personal changes going forward. I already have, like, for years, but I'm just really hurt and disappointed.
Dickers is planning a meet and greet right now. What, for a little bit of TLC? I'm just desperate for someone to touch me. I don't quite think so.
By how everything was set up by Twitch.
I'm not sure if commentary reviewers are usually the kind of people that you're going to want having a meet and greet with, but who knows?
And like how it was handled after. Like honestly, that was upsetting me more and making me more angry last night than everything else. Like.
Okay, nice. I think that's past the most part. It's a stream segment, so there we are. I don't know how much juice there is to squeeze left, but yeah, there we are. Interesting. All right, so I think some of the more kind of excessive claims are, well, excessive. I don't know if necessarily all of the responsibility here needs to be heaped on Twitch. It seems to be a coordination issue between her security and then Twitch's. Very, very strange if there is a concern, though, that she turned down more security. Very, very odd that other streamers as well are turning down more security. I don't know. It feels a little bit like a baby throwing toys out of the pram situation, but yeah, we'll just have to see how it goes on. I've got some insane misogynists in my community.